Welcome back to the Padilla family homestead. We are back for another tea time with Jen. This episode, it is just me. Our schedules are having a harder time lining up this week with all the craziness going on. But I wanted to make sure we got our tea time with Jen out for you. My husband should be back for next week's video. He's on a call all week this week, and he was actually able to make it to Bible study tonight, so that's good. Okay, so this week's topic. This one is, I've been debating which one I was going to do by myself because he brings a whole nother level to the videos. He's funnier. He kind of gets me talking differently. He brings out a different side of me, and I think he also brings out a different side in the conversations. And so I value his input, and I value him being on the videos. And so I have a hard time going, which one am I going to do without him? Because I like his input on all of them. I decided that today's video is going to be about why we share our lives on social media. Because it can be a popular thing, but it's really not if you look at how many people are in the world and how many people are in our country and how many people actually share their lives on YouTube and other social media platforms. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about why we do that. And just dive into it. I have my peppermint tea tonight. I was wanted the festive plus the tummy calming, and so I thought peppermint would be a good idea. So that's what I'm going to be drinking tonight for the tea portion. But let's just dive into the topic. Why would anybody want to share their lives on social media? Well, obviously, at some point, it would be great if we made income from it. But that's not the main reason. I haven't made a penny from YouTube. So, I'm not at that point yet. It takes a long time to get the right amount of followers. And then you have to have the right amount of watch hours within a 365-day period. And I'm sitting at about 911 followers, which is amazing. And I'm sitting at, I think almost 6,000 watch hours for the lifetime of my channel. But I think we just dropped down to 1,700 in a consecutive year. And so it takes different steps to get monetized. But that's not the primary reason. I mean, that would be a great benefit. But that's not the primary reason why I share on YouTube. And the reason why I chose this topic to talk about by myself is because this is kind of my baby. My husband is very supportive, but he would not be sharing on YouTube the way we do if it was not for me. And so he is supportive. We talk about things we want to share, we don't want to share. And we try also, like, we want to share our story, but we have to be careful because our lives are interconnected with other people's lives, and we're not here to tell their stories. That's their job to tell their stories. And so it can be hard sometimes to kind of find that balance. But I remember when I was first looking into this homesteading style life, I wanted to garden. I wanted to learn how to cook food. I didn't have property. I was living in an apartment. I still don't have property. I'm staying in someone's garage right now. But we're hopefully on our way there. But I was newly married. My daughter had gone through health stuff. My husband is going through health stuff. And it was my job, I felt, to provide healthy food for my family, and I was struggling with it. And I wanted to learn how to garden, but I felt like I had a black thumb. Like, I would kill anything I tried to grow. And I really had a hard time, and I didn't understand how to take something from a large scale and put it down into a small scale. And I could take it from a medium scale and knock it down, but sometimes it's harder. Like the tools used and the concepts and the ideas, they're just very different. And so I knew it was important when I found people that I could connect with who were going through the phase just ahead of me. And now that I'm further on in my learning and in my building my skills, they're even further along, right? And so now I get to share at the phase I am in my classroom, what I'm learning, how I'm doing things, how I'm starting this journey, and hopefully inspiring other people to learn how to cook, how to deal with food allergy issues, how to live with intention, how to balance the city life, which we lived in, with the desire to homestead, how to be patient and figure out God's timing and everything, and how to just how to live with intention. Like I think that is key. And you can start small, you can start where you are. My channel is definitely not a you have to do it this way. It is a I want to inspire you to get creative and do things that work for your family. And so for me, that was very helpful to encourage me, to inspire me to get started. So I really want to give back in that and inspire and help other people who are just starting, who are a few steps behind where I am, right? Or maybe inspire somebody at the same level and we can be learning from each other. There's so many people in the world and everybody's at a different spot. And so I know there have been videos that I've been, I don't know if that one was the best video, but then like it hits somebody and I get a comment about it, and you can tell like I was able to explain something in a way that made sense to them. They've messaged me, whatever, right? And that making a video that works well for one person, that helps one person, makes each video completely worth it. So that for me is one of the biggest ones. Oh, that tastes good. Another reason is legacy. I have a 19-year-old, almost 20-year-old daughter. She is not in the phase of her life where this is what she wants to do. And I don't know if she ever will, but she will probably have children. She may change gears later on in life. But I'll tell you what, more times than not has she referenced the Gluten-Free E-book that I made for her. More than once has she referenced videos or blog posts or whatever, so she knows how to do something. I live in another state from her right now, and she has access to these things. And that is huge. That is, and I started making these before we moved, but we've known for like over 3 years that we were going to be moving. We just didn't know when for sure, and we didn't know the logistics of it all. So, but we knew like we were going to want to move. We knew we weren't going to be in California forever. And so we wanted to start laying groundwork. I have an aunt who at the time lived 45 minutes away, but now lives across the country from me. And she would ask how to make certain things. Like she wanted to learn how to make the easy bread, the 4-ingredient yeast bread. And so I made a video about it. And so now she can put it on and she can watch it and have me there walking her through step by step how to make that bread. And she has it there for whenever she needs it. I have a cousin who calls all the time for gardening stuff. And so some of the stuff that I talk about is stuff that actually is spawned from conversations that we have had. And some of the recipe ideas are spawned from things people around me are requesting or wanting or are curious about or whatever. And so the channel is a great way for me to connect with my community and leave a legacy behind. It's leaving resources and my love and my heart behind for people long after I'm gone. And so I think that's a really cool aspect that people don't necessarily think about ahead of time until after somebody's gone. And so I want to be very intentional with that, and try to leave, be authentic and to leave great information behind for them. Also, there's some things like the garden tours. They're great for me to look back on. They may inspire somebody else to see what we're doing in a smaller space, or on a shared property right now, or what I was doing in my California garden. And that changed over the years. I think 2020, I had the big old plastic totes. I was growing corn and all kinds of stuff. And then we had to knock it down to 3 planters. And I ended up in the GreenStalk towers. And my apartment gardening was very different every year. And it was definitely a learning curve. Trying to grow inside, that was a fun one. So there's all kinds of things that people are curious to try or get their hands in, and not everybody has the resources to necessarily try it ahead of time, or they want to see how it works out. They want to see how it works on a small scale. Some people are scared to pick up and move across the country and change all the things. And I think at some point I'm going to go more into our journey, probably when we're a little bit more settled, and do a more beginning to end journey story to get to wherever we land. But sometimes it's good to share the process along the way a little bit. And so I try to take you along where I am with what I'm doing. My mouth is so dry. I'm so sorry. I'm not used to how dry the air is. Our room right now has like 30% humidity or less. And so I need to get some like humidity into our room. But it's making me have a dry cough right this second. So, yeah, so being real, those are a lot of the reasons why. Now, would it be great if down the road, I'm like way down the road, not right now, but down the road, if I am able to stay home, keep doing content, maybe doing some classes, and if I am making an income off of YouTube, great. The thing is, I would love to be able to make an income without costing you a penny, right? Costing anybody else a penny. Besides YouTube, I guess. So, but I'd love to be able to do that as a beneficial perk to already sharing this stuff. But again, that's not why I'm doing it, because if that was, there's no way I would still be sharing. Videos take a lot of time and a lot of effort. I worked 8.5, 9-hour day today. Zoomed over to Bible study, came back, put on my pajamas, crawled into bed, and went, oh no, I have my tea time with Jen still. I never got it done with my husband. And so there's days that it's like, am I going to show up? Am I going to follow through? And if it was for the money, I would not be. But I think it's important to have people share authentic lives, to share real food, to share the process and where they are, because we're all on a journey. We're all trying. It's not a perfect life. My room's not a perfect room. It's not completely clean. I have cough syrup sitting there from when we were sick with some cold medicine. I have a desk that I've been reorganizing. I've got my laundry hamper right next to me. Like, I'm a real person. I'm doing the real thing here. And if I can inspire somebody, help somebody, encourage somebody, and I get to share my passions and go crazy talking about vanilla sugar and vanilla beans, or looking at the garden, or doing stuff out there, cooking something delicious in the kitchen, whatever it is. It doesn't even matter what it is. Getting on a hot topic about living with intention. If I can do that and inspire somebody and connect with somebody, I'm a happy camper. So that's why we share our lives. We do not share everything. We do share a lot, probably way more than my mother would like me to share. But we do not share everything, obviously, for privacy purposes. Right now, we have to be very careful and share even less because on certain things, because we're in a shared home, and they don't do YouTube. And so we want to make sure that we're respectful of that, and also be gracious and thankful that they allow us to do YouTube here, even though they don't do that. And so I think it's important to find that fine line. And just because you feel strongly about something and called to do something doesn't mean somebody else is. And so that's my story. That's tonight's Tea Time with Jen. It's not super long. There's not a whole lot to talk about on the subject. But it is a question that I get asked quite a few times by people. Not always on YouTube, but quite a few times by people. And it's an interesting topic because it's most people would think you're just doing it for the money or the career or whatever. And there's no money in this right now. So yeah, that's it. It's just connection, being real. It's an avenue to share. It helps me. Also, this is another thing. There are things that I think I know well, and then before I go and share, I have to like make sure that I know, right? And then I'm trying to speak something true. And so it helps me learn a lot and do a lot of research into things. And then I'll try to be honest and share the what I have learned, and do some of the pros and cons and share that. But also like tell you to go do your own research, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional, just a mom, just a wife, just Jen, drinking some tea, doing her thing, and sharing it with you guys. And if you want to try it, make sure you do your research before you do, just like I did. So, yeah, that's it. Well, thank you for joining me. I'm going to go finish my cup of tea, put my jammies back on, crawl back into bed, and get ready for work day tomorrow. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you for joining me.